Hey, Bonafides and YouTube otherwise. It's me, Cemented, and I'm back. I'm back with another video. And if you're in here, you're good to go. What's going on, you guys? Hey, 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 hey. Hey. Hey, it's your girl Cemented, and I'm back. You were just listening to the musical style listings of It's Low Key D on Instagram. Should you have any musical needs for a jingle, a doo-wop, pop, a opening number, or any musical uh, engineering, sound bites, whatever, hit my girl up at It's Low Key D on Instagram. Let her know that your girl, Probably Bonafide, sent you, and she'll hook you up, child. She's amazing. So check her out at It's Low Key D on Instagram. Yes. Okay. Y'all, I am here today with an early Sunday soliloquy because I have stuff to do. I do feel like this will be another two-parter this week because I do want to make commentary on this narrative of cults in the beef sector, and that, in my opinion, the same people who are hollering, it's a cult, is driving their own cult. The same people are driving, excuse me, their own cults with the repetition and their phrasing and the things they're saying, coming on all day for 3 hours. Several videos for 3 hours a day, going back and forth, the same words almost, the same sentences for hours, very slowly and stuff like that. That's all programming. But we'll get into it later, okay, honey? Your girl sees all the BS. And let me tell you, subscribers, the way that you best see all the BS is to be non-affiliated. That's the best way. Be non-affiliated. Don't be seen more nowhere else than you regularly are. And, honestly, just come to yourself and say, am I being biased? And then try not to be. I have to do it all the time. I don't just always remain unbiased. I have to tell myself to look at situations unbiasedly. But this Sunday soliloquy is definitely being dedicated to my girl at home that I grew up with, went to college with, and had children with. Yeah, let me see what I'm gonna call her Katie. Katie just recently experienced the passing of her son. Katie and I were pregnant at the same time. Our children were came in this world together. Brooklyn came first, and he came 2 weeks later. And he passed Wednesday. That's Brooklyn's first friend, and she's been devastated. I am devastated on a different level, being a grown-up that watched this baby grow up. If you've been watching me for any time, you understand that death is not something that I can rock with well. I really don't do well with death, period. whether I know the person hard or not. I don't do well with death. Okay. Sorry. The baby was 20 years old, and he was found Wednesday in his apartment, um, by his friends and authorities who had to open the door, break the door in. And um, his mother has been distraught ever since. And I mean, to understand, any mother would be. Um, and I just don't know what to say to her. I try to keep coming back and back to her. Um, not trying to be in, because see, definitely not trying to be in her face too much, because I mean, between her, not husband, her man, her family, and friends that she may have kept up with more. I mean, we kept up with each other all the time, but may have kept up more because still in the same area and did stuff together, day in and out and stuff. I don't want to be another phone call, another having to run down the facts. So I text her sparingly, and I let her know that's where I'm coming from. Um, but like I told her, we came into this thing together, and we're gonna always be in it together. This thing called motherhood. The thing about it is, Katie was a warrior for this little boy. He had, okay, I'm all over the place. Sorry, y'all. He had juvenile diabetes since he was 2 years old. Imagine a 2-year-old baby having juvenile diabetes and being hospitalized from 2 to 20 several times a year, having to teach a baby to eat right, because of how his body reacts to the food that he eats, and how his body produces essential things like insulin, and talking about pancreases and all that stuff to elementary school kids that see others snacking and candying and carbon, you know, eating like, kids eat. And being that we all lived in Texas, that's a lot of eating that can be done. And she kept them active. She changed their whole pattern and their whole lifestyle. Um, and was his champion every time he went down. I remember going to see him a couple times in the hospital when we was in Dallas, and she was just right there by his side. She raised him and his little brother up together in all the sports. When she didn't have money, honey, she did what she needed to do. All right, nothing crazy like selling her body now, but she always found a way to get that medicine that was so expensive. She always found a way to pay them hospital bills. And she was by herself for a long time. Then she was engaged for several years, and now she's engaged again. Um, she just was a warrior mom to me. And last year she said he was in a diabetic coma 3 times. Oh, not yeah, no, he was in ICU 3 times last year. And then this year in January, this month, he actually was in a diabetic coma earlier this month. Came out of that, caught COVID, and had just got released at the hospital from COVID a couple days before he passed. And it just brings to me in mind, just how fragile we are, and just how much, we really don't know the day or the hour. Anyone is subject for it to be their last day. And although it's hard to be able to get through that. Do we ever get any understanding of it? Like, we know it's hard, and we know that we'll go on living. Most people go on living when their loved ones die, but do we ever really understand it? That's what I'm trying to say. You know, she's trying to blame herself because she had went off on him the last time she talked to him, because He was bullcorning about getting that medicine, that excellent on time and staying on top of having it already ready when it runs out and you got some more and stuff. And I said, but you did that out of love. I want you to be able to forgive yourself for that. Well, I really want you not to hold yourself accountable for that because you were loving him and giving him the direction stuff that you were supposed to as a grown woman and as a mother. Excuse me, as a mother. You know, you didn't just let him roll out and make his own decisions and just whatever at 18. At 20, you still recognize that it was your job to still give direction, to still stay on top of stuff. And don't get upset. Don't fall out about that. Don't hold yourself to blame for that. But yeah, it's just like this baby's 20 years old. We've been seeing that's 20. We saw Betty White, 99. And to me, it just goes to show that, that no one knows the day or the hour that God's going to come back, nor when they're going to pass. Brooklyn is more so like this is my first death to deal with. Like I don't think Brooklyn had to deal with no death from family either. And this was my friend. This is my first friend. Like we got crib pictures. I would show pictures, but I really want to respect her. Um, but these kids, we got pictures. These kids, fresh born. We got pictures of me and her pregnant with them. Um, and then not only were we in college together with these children, we moved to Dallas, Texas. She moved before me, and I moved the year after. Um, we were in Dallas together and got the kids together as often as we could. Always at birthday parties because the birthdays was every two. It was same time every year, 2 weeks apart. And I just feel so bad for her as a mother to have that baby she worked so hard for. It's so hard to keep him here for him to be passed now, and for his brother to be missing him so bad. His little brother's taking it bad. His little brother's about 17. You know, all these people who loved on him, helped her with him. Everybody gets a piece of your children. The angels that you have, the angels that really love you and your children, they become a part of like a patchwork in their own souls too. You and the children, and if it ain't you, then your children. It's like a piece of the patchwork to their soul. All the things that are good to their soul and bad to their soul, that love and attention, any kind of help that they gave, any kind of vigil that they watched under when your child was sick, all of that is patchwork in their soul. So when that baby leaves out of here, he's leaving out of here with a world of people who watched him come up, who helped him come up, who loved him as he was coming up, to miss him and to mourn him. 20 years old with the same baby face. His face didn't grow up. Brooklyn's face grew up. His face is the same freaking face he had at 1 year old. And I just pray her strength, comfort, and understanding. Thank you, Antigone. So I'm looking. I asked her. I said I'm gonna look on Pinterest and find out some special things to do during the service and stuff like that. She said that was fine. I'm probably gonna be down there early next week and stay with her for a little while. Me and Brooklyn. Brooklyn said she got to go. Brooklyn's really been toe up about it, and I really understand it too. We talked yesterday again. We talk about it every day, but she was like, we talked. We wasn't like every day, every week, but we kept good up with each other. Brooke was like, I really feel bad because he still was my friend, even though I moved here. But I feel bad that all I have is us as little kids at elementary school kid pictures. I don't have us as teenagers and grown up, but we've been with each other that whole time. Oh man, you know, checking in, being friends. Even when she was engaged to this one guy, he came with some kids too. Like he had his own kids. And those children became Brooklyn's friends too. You know what I'm saying? That's how I found out. Brooklyn was on Snapchat. The baby who passed, his I don't know, I ain't trying to give everybody all these names because then I'm gonna start saying real names and mess it up. But the baby who passed, his stepsister, the man that his mom was engaged to, had posted a picture, a RIP picture of him on Snapchat. And Brooklyn called me and she like, Mom, is this true? Like, what's going on? Call Miss Katie, you know? And I called her, she didn't answer. So then I called mutual friends that grew up with us, and they confirmed it. And I was like, "Oh my gosh," because she could, she busy, she can't talk. She was told up, and when I talked to her that night, she was gone. She was just, you know. So, like I said, they keep up with each other. For the play stepsister, the almost stepsister, to still be in contact with Brooklyn stuff. That's how tight these kids were. And we've been gone for 10 years from Dallas. And she was just like, I hate that we don't have no more pictures. I'm tired of these same little 5, 6 pictures we got as a little kid. I wish we would have been able to go back and hang out with them and do stuff with them. Um, I'm so tight, child. And I was so broke for many years. I wasn't going back to Dallas. The only time I've been back to Dallas is through funerals. In 2016, I went to one of my homeboys that I called the other day about this, to his mama's funeral. And then I went and who his mama and my mama's best friend died in the same week. And it just so happened that these two ladies who died were good friends too. So I went back in 2016 to both of those funerals. And I ain't been, oh, and then I didn't go to Dallas. I went through Oklahoma in 2020 when we went to Colorado. But Brooklyn went with me. Brooklyn went with me on none of those trips. Brooklyn ain't been back to Texas since we moved here in 2012. So that would have been very nice for them to be able to see each other. We should have did better on keeping them physically together. Well, I'm glad so that's one of these times I'm glad for social media to keep folks in touch with each other and folks uh, able to see each other throughout the years. Yeah, it's really hard. And then the fact that I don't even know she ain't seen the body yet because he went to school in Houston and she's in Dallas. And so, when you start talking about moving bodies and stuff like that, you got medical examiners, coroners, then detectives who trying to make sure ain't nothing crazy going on and stuff like that. And then COVID, you have all of these factors to add in as to why things might move a little slower and stuff like that. And then, you got to transfer all the way up. Well, that ain't, I mean, it's 4 hours, 4.5 hours from Houston to Dallas, and then getting your own funeral home, and then start working and stuff like that, working to do that type of stuff. So, yeah, girl, it's a mess. And she got to be without that baby, and I just can't take it. That's the baby that made her. You know what I'm saying? When you had them babies in college like we did, and I remember I found I was pregnant in January. Honey, I went straight to the Section 8. Get into it, okay? I went straight to the welfare, okay? Because I couldn't have no baby in the dorm, and I was an RA at the time. I was pregnant. They couldn't get rid of me pregnant, but I couldn't have no baby in the dorm, right? And I didn't even know they couldn't get rid of me pregnant. I hid my pregnancy for 6 months until people was whispering and stuff, and the head, the person over the residential came to me. She was like, "Chelsea, I know you probably don't want to answer this, but are you pregnant. And I was like, what makes you think that? And she was like, well, in the bathrooms and stuff like that, people said you looking pregnant and that you've been sick and all that stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not trying to lose my job. I don't know what to say to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, are you trying to fire me? Whatever. She's like, I cannot fire you because you're pregnant. That is against whatever the labor laws are. She was like, but to have a baby in the dorm room, I don't think that's gonna fly. And I was like, okay. And so I talked to my mom or whatever. And I mean, I stayed there until that semester was over. And I went and got me an apartment. So I say all this to say this, right? Um, they didn't give me the apartment until like a couple months before I was gonna have her. I didn't get the apartment until like July. And I had her in September. I told Katie about it. Um, like late, kind of like because I didn't know she was pregnant off rip. I probably didn't know she was pregnant till May or June. So that's when I told her about getting on Section 8. But by then, she was like on a waiting list, on a literal waiting list. So they was gonna put her out the dorms too. You know what I'm saying? Oh, was she already out the dorms? I don't know if she was. She was a little, I ain't gonna say faster, but she was a little advanced, okay, than me, even though I'm older than her. I'm older than her by a year. Uh, she couldn't get on Section 8. And that girl took out loans. I think she worked a little bit and stuff like that and had to pay for her apartment. No, I think because she did make a big deal about having to pay for it. Maybe she wasn't in the apartment before she got pregnant. And she did what she had to do. And remember, that's the person. Katie is the person who Brooklyn's daddy came to visit her. Supposed to have been there for 2 weeks when I first had Brooklyn. And we all went to high school together. So uh when he came for them two so-called 2 weeks, the next day after he came, like he came one day, the next day, I left Brooklyn with him. When I came home, wasn't nobody here, and I started freaking. Wasn't nobody there 'cause Brooklyn wasn't nothing but 3 weeks old. I started freaking out, right? And the first person I called was Katie. And I was like, "Girl, this Negro done took my baby. I don't know where he at, da 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 da." And she was like, "Girl, the baby over here with me." And her baby 1 week old, and my baby's 3 weeks old. Okay. She said Brooklyn over here with me. He left. He left and said he'll be back. I said, how many hours ago was that? And he had my car because I could take the bus into the campus. So I had to take the bus over to her apartment and wait for him to come with my car. No, did he have my car? What did he have my car for? In case anything went wrong in Brooklyn, I don't know, but he came. I was so mad. He was like, "I got a job." He got a job in 24 hours when he got here. "I got a job. Imma stay." That's what he said. And Brooklyn, I said, "Baby, let me tell you something. Don't you never get lost with my child again." And she was just, I mean, she just laughed. She was like, "That is so funny." But he knew who to take her to. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, we all went to high school and they graduated the same year. So, yeah. And what's so crazy now, Imma say this. He knew her, but she didn't know him. But why they got the same last name? And you see how these two faces are on here? Why was she first? Same last name. She on the left face, he on the right face, and she didn't even know him. He was like, "Man, please, she know who I was. I ran track." Da, da, da. I was like, "Bruh, everybody didn't know you, girl. Everybody didn't know you, girl." You know what I'm saying? But she like Chelsea. I do not remember that boy. I was like, girl, I said, girl, you too high and too fancy. Get into it. Because he was there when I was there too, and I was too high and too fancy too, baby. Mm-mm. So anyway, but yeah, honey, we was in everything. Me and her was in junior high and high school together. We were in Zenos and Kudos together. We went to college together. We had these babies together, and we gonna take care of this baby next week together. Yes, we are. We're gonna take care of these babies together, of her baby together. Then my stupid butt was on the phone, just goofy. Just don't be thinking everything through sometime on the phone. With other home people, like just talking about what we want to do with her and stuff. So we decide we're going to do a vacation. And I was like, "Well, for Brooklyn's 21st birthday, um, we're going to Dominican Republic. Maybe we can go to Dominican Republic." And I remember one person was like, "Yeah, that's nice," and everybody else was just kind of quiet. And I don't know, and I was thinking maybe it was the finances and stuff like that. But I got the phone and a couple hours later, I was like, "Why would I celebrate Brooklyn's birthday with her?" Well, I'm so glad I didn't. She wasn't on that phone, and I said that mess. Hey, DJ's World, thank you so much. Oh, I was so glad Katie wasn't on that phone and I said that mess. You know, sometimes you just be thinking you mean well, but honey, you be all the way off. So we're gonna have to find something else, like a little Florida, a little New Orleans or something. Let's something like that. A little. Ooh, we could go there. Ooh, we could go down to Kima Boardwalk in Houston and Galveston. Yeah, and do a good little send off or something like that. Ooh, that'd be nice. I know she probably like that. It'd probably be hard, but she'd like that. Just keeping that memory alive. I gotta think. I gotta think. Think about that and get that together. Because the Dominican for Brooklyn 21st ain't gonna work. No ma'am, no ma'am. That when her baby would have been 21 2 weeks later. Nope, 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 nope. Oh my gosh. That's all Brooklyn talking about. I'm calling him Pierre. Kind of his name. Kind of his real name kind of like that. But all she talking about is Pierre. And I feel bad, like, post anything, like, on my stories, even though I have, I just feel bad because I hate how life goes on after death. You know, well, I don't know. It got me and Brooklyn talking about, my arrangements or her arrangements. She go first when she won't, and my arrangements and how to get her money that I got for her. She was surprised at how much she had. So, "Yes, ma'am. Indeed, indeed." Um, I said, "Now don't try to kill me now. Don't try to kill me, sis." And, she, "Oh, no, I wouldn't." I was like, "Hee, hee, 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 hee," you know? And it's got me finna get off here and call my mom. 'Cause me and her got into it the other day. Call her too, cause I just needed to rest. I needed her to think about why I'm mad. Cause see, my mom don't be caring about other folk feelings sometimes. And say anything, even when I said it there, say, "I don't like your response to what I'm telling you." "Well, I got a feeling about it, da 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 da," you know? I didn't like that. Mm, 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 mm. So, I know she gonna have that baby cleaned in the mud. It's his problem is he was crying. I'm like, whose son is he? Is he Diddy's son? Was cleaned in the mud. Um, and she's always been very sweet to Brooklyn. Always very kind and girly girl because she wanted a girl. Remember, she's the one who's in the two things. When I was pregnant, she went with me to my ultrasound. And when I was so distraught about having a girl, she's like, "Well, I hope when I get mine, it's a girl." And when she got hers as a boy, she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna take the boy." You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. She's like, "What?" And she's the one who had to make me get off the table 'cause I kept saying, "Look again, like move the baby around, look and make sure." She's like, "Come on now, Chastity told you that you got a girl, okay?" I was like, "Oh Lord, what I was gonna do with a girl?" But I did good. She did good with her boys too. And then she was big and pregnant when I was got induced, and them inducement pains be off the chain. And she started crying when I was hollering and stuff like that on the thank you, Wendy. Good morning. I remember I was in the bed, I was hollering and all these pains it just hurt me, woo, woo, and she started crying and my daddy said, "All right, take," I almost said her name, "Take Katie out of here. She don't need to get scared because she up next. Take Katie out of here." Don't get her scared. They were trying to say, "Just stop. You making her scared." I'm like, "Child, I'm trying to get through it. What you mean? Stop for her. I'm trying to just get through this thing." They took her right on out, and then all she did was sit up and talk on the phone while she was talking on the phone to me while she pushing. It was so funny. It was so funny. I went through all that 14 hours of pure misery. And she on the phone. I said, "Girl, get off the phone. I didn't know you was pushing." And he just slid on out. Mhm. She didn't even have I don't think she had no C-section at all, honestly, with neither one of them. I had a C-section. And when I always used to call him for his birthday or saw him when we was in Dallas and stuff like that. Ooh, y'all, that was the most holleringest baby that I ever seen. You loved him, but baby, when I tell you that thing cried, ooh, he would rear his head back and cry. If you didn't get him in the crook of your arm the way that you wanted, the way that he wanted it, oh girl, he holler. Honey, if that the now Katie was a little bit more about the book, mama about the baby and stuff than me. I was old school. So my baby was on formula at 2 weeks because I had to go to school, you know what I'm saying? I had the baby and went back at 2 weeks. So, any extra crying and stuff, you're gonna have to go ahead and get this little bit of a teaspoon or 2 of formula in the bottle to calm down and go to sleep, right? Ooh, she didn't want me to do it. She didn't want me to do it. I said, "Girl," but, we would watch each other's kids when we needed stuff to do stuff or we wanted to go out, stuff like that. Girl, ooh, when I tell you he used to holler, even Brooklyn daddy was like, now he could get him to calm down a little bit. I guess maybe it's a man voice. But baby, when I tell you that thing used to holler, and then when they start walking, and he would walk and hold his head back and be hollering, crying. Ooh! But I remember when he was a baby, he did all that hollering. And I was looking at the nipple. I said, "You a big old boy." His mama, shoot, I think Katie like 5'11", and it's now his daddy is short and fat though. But she's a tall girl. And yeah, it's yeah. Cause I was getting her other son's daddy music because he was big too. And what tripped me out is them two tall athletic and well, I don't know if she's athletic, but I know the daddy was because he played football. The other son. And that boy is cold blooded too, and he big, like big old feet, and he ain't as big as like fat. He's not fat. He's tall, big, just like them and stuff like. Genetics is a trip, but Pierre still was athletic. He's thin though, and tall, and whatnot. But but when he was a baby, he was chunky, and he was heavy, heavy. Okay. And I'm like, "Dang," and I had Brooklyn too, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be like, "Lord, you got all this hollering and stuff." And see, Brooklyn would be looking at him like, "What's wrong with you?" And Katie used to say that too when she had him. She like, "Brooklyn always looking like, what's going on?" And he was still Brooklyn bottle and stuff like that, thing like that. But Brooklyn like, "What's wrong with you?" Because Brooklyn came in here chilled in the mud. Chill. That's why that high school stuff and that attitude and stuff like that, I ain't never that stuff threw me off. Cause Brooklyn was chill, go with you all the way until about 14. And then now she's tapering back off. She got good sense, I'm starting to see too. Like real good sense. Like even from our conversation last night. Good sense and a lot more vocabulary because we don't talk like a lot. But that vocabulary last night, I was like, whoa. Okay, yes. You get it from your mama. Okay, that's narcissistic. But anyway, it is, shit, I got it from mine. So anyway, what was so crazy is and my stepfather. And so what was so crazy though is he was so heavy and just hollering and stuff. And I looked at this nipple one time, right? And I went and I did a little chew on it myself. I said, "This little piece of nothing hole for this big old boy." Honey, I went in there and washed that nipple off and took me a safety pin and burned it and opened that nipple up just like Brooklyn's was. Okay. Honey, I put a little teaspoon of some little whatever in there, just a teaspoon, just a little bit of some baby the flakes, the cereal. And put it in there and shook it up real good, real good. And I was like, Lord, Don't let this baby break out. Don't let it do nothing. But I'm tired. I'm tired. I got 2 babies on my hand. And I gave it to him. Baby, I got scared in the mug. Brooklyn Daddy ran in there because he was used to having to beg the bottle to give him something. You know what I'm saying? And he used to take all day to eat. You know what I'm saying? So good morning. He used to have to, like fight with the bottle to get all that, get a good squirt. You know what I'm saying? So when he first took it with his little gums, he coming in hot, like girl, he was like Brooklyn Daddy ran in, he's like, what? I said, wait, I put him up straight up so he could, it could come out and stuff like that. And so I kept him a little bit straight up and I just tilted it a little bit so he could get used to it. It took him a little bit. He was like, and then he was like, oh, okay, I gotta figure this out. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Chelsea. I mean, he didn't say that. He was an arm baby. But he just got right into the crook of my arm. He just chilled. And he was just like, yes, honey. Still took all day, honey. Because then he would just bite it, like to give himself a chance to, digest it and really like it. And he'll hold it. Then he'll do a couple little sucks. Oh, that used to get on my nerves. Oh, I love this little boy. That used to get on my nerves. He'd do a little suck. 1, 2. Look at me like, you finna be here, be okay. And then drank it a little bit and just still hold it with his mouth and just chill. Then he'll do a couple more sucks. Girl, I be like, I didn't take an hour to feed this boy. Cause I was still in school. She was too. We were in school. Heck, I had my own baby. I had a cheating boyfriend. It's a lot going on there. You better drink this bottle. That boy used to holler. Oh, he used to holler. Every time I said that, he'd be like, like, oh my gosh, she's still saying this lady saying it. You know how, even though we were young, 24, 25 and stuff, when I used to mess with him about it a lot, right? I always felt like an old woman telling me, oh, little boy, I remember when you used to just be hollering and you'd be crying all the time. I'd be like, Lord, have this bottle. Your mama had you in a punk bottle. And, she didn't know you was ready to eat. Mhm. So I'll miss old Pierre. Because I just knew we was gonna be going to some graduations. Because although I didn't make it for wasn't nobody gonna make it for no graduation for whatchamacallit, because they came out 2020. I was looking forward to the college though, and the weddings and stuff. Yeah, but it's a sad day. It's a sad week over here. Um, I can't wait to have her in my arms and just try to say, girl, I don't be knowing what to say. Try to give her some comfort that another friend or that her mom twin is there for her mom twin. And that was my little boy for a little while. That's the little boy. Even when she moved to Dallas and I didn't really see her too much, that still was like the little boy, little baby boy in my life. Yeah. Him and my nephew, which they kind of favored back in the day, not anymore. They both had them big round heads and was tall and yellow. Death is so is that forgivable? Like you be mad, but when you love God, you don't want to be mad at him. And you surely don't want to be mad at him because he didn't already told you this was coming for everybody. But it seems so harsh. And the unknowingness of it, not knowing what's going on with it and when and how and who is startling, it's hurtful, you ain't never ready, fully ready. You ain't never fully ready, even those we know that's sick for a while. You never feel like you said enough or said the right things to the person who passed. I am in a good morning, Harmony. I am in a deliberate feeling of compassion for my mom twin who lost her son this Wednesday. Trying to let it get to a decent hour in Texas to call her today. I texted her, but she didn't text me back last night, and I understand that. But I saw she was on not Facebook, Instagram earlier to this morning. Because I went to her page to see what she had if she had posted anything, but I still didn't want to call that early in the morning. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. I think I'm sorry, I was looking at something. I think I'm really I'm learning things on the other side too. Like when people die and then you go around, thank you. My heart goes out to their family more so, but thank you. You don't know them. I got it. Um, what trips me out is what's the difference between all oh Lord. Okay, what trips me out is calling people that and asking how did so and so die. And it's like, who can you do that to? Because like I can call I wouldn't have no problem at all calling my auntie if one of her kids died. It's like, what's going on? What happened? You know, I wouldn't have no problem calling. Well, I called my best friend, Pretty P, the one y'all met, Pretty P, and asked how her daddy and her mama died. You know, well, she called me to let me know they died because I didn't even know, and I asked how. And oh, listen to Wendy. I know, but I had to thank God when my mom passed. I had to thank God for the years I had with her. It's hard though. Yes, ma'am. And I really felt as though some folks that's been in my DM that we went to high school with are asking if I know how her son died, and I ain't even answering back. Cause that I don't feel like that's my place. But I've been that person before asking folks from home how so and so died that I ain't close with. So now that done brought a different perspective to how I will act in the future. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna talk on that. If she wanted all that to be said and stuff, like I'm sure she didn't have a problem with our immediate friend circle that we talk. Well, we only talk like once or twice a year in the friend circle. Letting me know that me and her talk maybe 4 or 5 times a year. Okay. But we talk all the time, like on Facebook and stuff like that. We definitely like she the one helped me plan Vegas out. You know what I'm saying? Because she goes all the time with them basketball tournaments her kids are in. And you know what I'm saying? At this age, you have lifelong friends that you don't talk to day in and day out, especially when y'all don't live right next to each other. Hell, I have a lifelong friend from high school that lives 15 minutes from me, and we don't talk like that. I don't think you've ever seen her. Maybe y'all seen her view on my Instagram. Bree Bree. Yeah, Bree Bree lived 15 minutes from here and has always lived anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes away from me since I've been here in Atlanta. And we hook up, but it don't be like sitting up in each other's face, you know? Wish it was though. I like Bree. I almost said her name. I love me some Katie too. And I love Bree. But Bree got little kids. We on a different thing. My kid was grown. Well, my kid was in 5th grade. Her kids were little arm babies. Okay. And so now Brooklyn 20, and I think her oldest is like 11. So yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. We gonna fly on back home. I was thinking about driving. I was thinking about driving so I could drive home and get some more of mama's stuff. I hope she don't try to put that in my head. I was gonna just do it. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna do it and then bring it back so she'd be surprised. I ain't want no forcing going on. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that works. Cause honey, me and Miss Girl is going through today. I'm gonna have to call her later. My mama. We're going through these last 2 days. She hit me up yesterday, told me, "You still mad at me?" I ain't say nothing back because I am. It's like when you get right back with somebody who did some mess, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm always with mama, but somebody done said or whatever, or took discounted your feelings or whatever, then they don't really learn, especially when they a parent. Shoot.
The difference between all.
Yeah. So that's a trip. So I was gonna do Sunday soliloquy again later on today. Um, and I said that at the beginning of this video, but I do want to say that that's a might because I have a lot of running around to do today and several phone calls that I don't know how long they're gonna last to make. So I don't want to promise that. I will say this: if I can, before I do a Sunday soliloquy on what I'm gonna talk about, if I can get no, definitely tomorrow I'll do the ghost review on tomorrow. How about that? I think that'll work. But y'all, thank you for coming and joining my soliloquy today. Um, yeah, just keep her family in your prayer. If you can, if you can remember, or just say a prayer for her, just for her to, make it through these times because it's hard. I'm sure on her. It's heavy and hard. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gone. Y'all have a good day.